Hi everyone, welcome to another episode of our project review. It's been quite some time, I think since last month, and because of the ghost month, so a lot of the developers, they didn't want to launch their projects during this period. So last month we had a couple of launches which turned out to be quite successful, River Green, Promenade Peak as well as Springleaf. So for those who managed to get a unit, congratulations. For those who didn't, well, there's always a silver lining, and that is actually the topic of today's project review, which is Skye at Holland. So I believe many of you have already seen all the starting prices, the very, very attractive starting prices that agents potentially would have sent to you, starting from about 2005 PSF. Is it even possible for a core central property right beside the newly opened Holland Village Mall as well as the MRT station? So today's topic, the header you will see is actually do not be misled by the attractive prices. Okay, so what are some of the things to take note? So to break this video down, we have split this into three portions: price, and price. So within this first portion of price, we actually talk about the indicative prices, whether they will be as attractive as what you've seen online, and the surrounding prices, as well as the walkaway price. So for those who have been following our channel for quite some time, we always have a walkaway price whereby when it reaches you, depending on your queue number and the remaining units are of a certain price, that is where you say that, oh, sorry, there are better options out there. So what is this walkaway price for Skye at Holland? We will actually cover this as well. Okay, then we also go to the second portion of project details. Usually we start with project details, but I think the price is the most interesting topic that we are going to talk about today. So we decided to start with the price first, followed by the project details, and the third point being, what if we miss this launch? What are the upcoming launches this year as well as in 2026? So firstly, the attractive pricing starting from 2598 PSF. Is it even possible? We have the full indicative prices already. Previously, they only released certain snippets or rather certain bedroom types. Now we have almost everything. So the 2-bed, 1-bath, 581 square feet starts from 2598 PSF, which works out to be about 1.5 mil. Okay, but if you notice on this side, what the developer has done is that the PSF loading, that means the higher PSF units are actually the bigger bedroom types. This is not very surprising because in recent times, there is a shift towards premium. There is a shift of the premium units onto the bigger bedroom types. So we've seen similarly by this developer at Upper House, the bigger bedroom types have also higher PSF as compared to the smaller bedroom types. So what does this mean? This means that there is a shift in terms of preference. I think buyers today are leaning more towards the bigger bedroom types, especially after COVID, whereby everybody just one size, everybody just one bigger bedrooms instead of being grouped up in a smaller bedroom type. So this is a perfect opportunity, especially for those who have always wanted to invest in a small property, 2-bedroom, 1-bath, 2-bed, 2-bath, as well as the 3-bedroom compact even. They are all starting from 25 to 26 PSF. Okay, but will this actually be the pricing? Okay, so we actually take a look at the land bid price. So this plot of land, there were a total of 3 bidders, but it was ultimately awarded to a consortium of 4 developers, UOL, Singland, Capital Land, as well as King Leong, okay, at a purchase price of 1285 PPR. That means PSF per plot ratio. So this, after you add in the construction cost, the marketing fee and whatsoever, it actually works out to a break-even price of 2002 per square foot. Which means that today, if the developer starts at 2005 per square foot, they are already marking up in terms of the profitability. Okay, so over here, what I did was, I added a 20% profit margin, works out to be around 2643. And because this being a GFA harmonized site, we have to factor in about a 5 to 7% harmonization. This works out to be around 2008 per square foot. Okay, so this should be the average price across the entire development. So, well, let's take a look at the end of launch day whether this is accurate. Okay, why I did a further 30% profit margin? Because recently, we've seen developers being a bit more aggressive in their profit margin, but it differs from developer to developer. So why do I say that? Okay, River Green, if you guys remember the last time I did River Green project review, I did talk about the starting prices being really attractive in terms of quantum. The 3 bedrooms doing about 2.25, 4 bedrooms starts from about 2.8. Okay, PSF wise, they started off with 2008 for core central, right beside Great World City MRT. Okay, but on average, it turned out to be 3,001 per square foot, with the highest sale almost hitting 3,006 per square foot. Hey, even just at the development average of 3,001, the profit margin that Wing Tai actually took away with is actually about 38.6%. Okay, so this is why I did 30%. I didn't do 38, but I just wanted to give buyers a bit of a buffer. Hey, even for Promenade Peak, the starting prices came out to be around 2006, ended up development average 3003, highest sale 3005. So even at an average of 3003, the developer's markup profit margin is 50%. Okay, of course, this is not the craziest. Those that seen our earlier videos, you would know which is the biggest markup in history so far that we have seen, and it's somewhere around the Marymount area. Okay, so looking at the current market trend whereby buyers are very aggressive in their purchase, developers are also very confident, which is why they have no incentive to sell you cheap. So this attractive prices that we see here at Skye starting from 2598, it is very, very attractive, but the development average should still work out to around 2008 to 3000 PSF. So this brings us to the next point. What is a safe entry price? Okay, to me, I think that if you are entering around 2008, 2009, that should be an okay price. Anything below is definitely a bonus. Going in at 2005, 2006 will only be possible if you have a very good queue number, that's number one. And number two, you are a priority purchaser. That means you buy more than one unit with your family members. So you get to choose units before everybody else. But even so, usually for priority purchasers, the developers usually reserve the lower floor units, which are the ones that starts from 2005 PSF. So ultimately, I think if you want to consider this project, we should be looking around 2008 per square foot, maybe highest 2009. In what situation will 3000 PSF justify the purchase? Will be in the situation whereby you love this area a lot and you are already reaching the very high floors 30 and above. You get an unblocked view of the GCB, which I'll touch on very shortly. And yes, that would be my only reason why we'll go above 3000 PSF, because I will also be touching on what is the average transacted in the core central region, and we don't want to be the one setting the benchmark pricing. Okay, so anyways, for UOL, generally they have always been very, how do I put it, conservative in their profit margin. The CEO actually once said that if they are able to get the land at a very attractive land bid, they would actually pass on this benefit to the buyers. Okay, so for example, Upper House, okay, based on the break-even price and the average transacted on launch day, the profit margin of the developer was around 26%. This is also a harmonized project, which is quite decent. It's a 20 to 30%. We don't see it above 30%. So in the sense that UOL, usually they are a bit more conservative, which is a pro or a benefit for buyers who are looking very closely at Skye Holland. Then I go to a region PSF, which I was talking about earlier. Okay, in the past 1 year, these are the average region PSF. For the outskirts, we are looking at an average PSF of about 2001. Definitely, we have seen outskirts doing way above 2001. For example, Park Down, integrated in Tampines, the average is about 2360. Alta and Trump Park in the outskirts as well, they did about 2005 per square foot. Okay, for the RCR, 2007 per square foot, we had the launch of Ori, that was the average. Mayor Blue did up to 3000, but of course that is a freehold project. Okay, and moving to the core central region, okay, we see that the average PSF for the past year is at 3001. That brings me to an earlier point whereby 3000 is you're still able to enter. It's just that maybe the holding period is slightly longer and it's more of an emotional purchase than an investment one, because maybe you really love the location. Coming down, maybe you have a dog, you bring the dog down to the Holland Village Mall and you love the lifestyle, you love the connectivity, you love the convenience. Then yes, maybe around 3000 is still justifiable. Okay, and then we go to the narrowing price gap. So I'm pretty sure those who are looking at this video, or if you happen to stumble across my video as the first property video they are looking at, we always talk about the narrowing price gap between the regions, between the outskirts and city fringe, between the city fringe and the core central region. So if you take a look at this graph, generally the city fringe properties as well as the central properties, right, the price gap has always been about 20 to 30%. But in recent times, there have been a shift. I would say that the city fringe has been catching up very, very quickly, yet at the same time, the core central hasn't been appreciating that quickly. Okay, so this presents a very good opportunity for buyers. A lot of the agents, they talk about narrowing price gap, but what does this translate into? Right now, the price gap is about 6%, a single digit, as compared to a usual 20 to 30%. Okay, and this translates to, the last time we saw such a narrow price gap was in 2013. The price gap was 0.7% between the city fringe as well as the core central project. And in that 1 year of that price gap, you notice the core central, they grew by about 33%, and at the same time, the city fringe grew at a negative growth rate of 9%. Similarly, in 2011, the gap between city fringe and core central was at 4.32%. This resulted in a 51% growth for core central and a negative 22% growth for the city fringe. So does this mean that city fringe properties you cannot buy? Okay, of course not. I will actually leave a link to another video which I'll be doing very shortly, and this is actually one of my favorite projects right now as of third quarter in 2025, because it is the cheapest new launch in the entire city fringe with extremely good potential. So if you're keen, maybe I'll just leave the video somewhere around here and you can actually find out more. Okay, then I move to the estimated pricing. At 2009, which is my safe entry price, and anything above, I think that I'll walk away unless it's an emotional purchase. What is the quantum price that we are looking at? Do bear in mind that this is not the official pricing. This is based on my estimate. At 2009, your 2-bed 1 bath will be going about 1.68 mil. 2-bed 2-bath starts from about 1.9 on average for 2009 PSF. Your 2 plus study should be about 2.1. 3-bed compact about 2.6. 3-bed premium at 3.1. Okay, so why did I draw the box and stop there? It's because for the bigger bedroom types, if you remember earlier, I mentioned the PSF might be slightly higher. So I might bump it up to 3,000 PSF. So for the 4 bedrooms, mid-floor onwards, you might be looking at around 3.7 mil. 4-bed premium 4.3 mil. And then of course for the 5 bedroom 5.2 mil. So what do all this pricing mean? It technically means nothing unless we draw a comparison. Okay, so this is what I did. I drew comparison to city fringe properties. That means not even core central district 10 properties. So for example, at 2009, my 2-bed 1-bath is about 1.6, 2-bed 2-bath about 1.9 at 2009 PSF. Okay, and if you compare to the city fringe average of 2 bedrooms in the recent launches, they are averaging about 1.8. So we are actually purchasing very, very, very close to city fringe 2-bedroom prices. Okay, in fact, at Linden Woods, which is a non-harmonized project, okay, they did up to 2.3. Harmonized projects like the Ori and Nava Grove, they did up to 2.1, which is at our 2009 to 3000 PSF range. Okay, so this is why I keep emphasizing that 2009 is still my safe entry price. Even for the 3 bedrooms, 2009 for the 3 bedrooms, 2009 PSF, it brings us to 2.6 mil. Okay, this is already the transacted average for city fringe. And of course, for the 3 bedroom premium, because it's slightly larger, it's at 3.12, which has already been accepted at Pine Tree Hill and Linden Woods. These are 2 non-harmonized projects. For Nava Grove and Ori harmonized, yet they have also done up to 3 mil for city fringe. For the 4 bedrooms, 3000 PSF, I prefer to touch on 3000 PSF, that would be around 3.7 mil. It has already been transacted at Nava Grove, Pine Tree Hill, as well as Linden Woods. This is, in fact, Linden Woods average is 3.8. Of course, this is city fringe, non-harmonized. This is the significance of harmonization because the overall quantum price actually shrinks. For example, Nava Grove and Pine Tree Hill, they are right side by side. Pine Tree Hill's average for the 3 bedroom is 2.6 up to 3.2 or 3.3. But for Nava Grove, the average is only 2.5. Highest being 3 mil because the sizes are smaller, but this is exclusive of the aircon latch. So even for the, even for the 2 bedrooms as well at Nava Grove, average Pine Tree Hill 1.8, but average at Nava Grove is 1.7. So this is the beauty of harmonization, and moving forward, this will be greatly benefit buyers, especially in the resale market as well, and they are doing comparison to the older properties. Okay, so I did a comparison with the region, so the core central region, city fringe as well as outskirts. I did a comparison with the quantum prices as well. Now I'll move on to the biggest competitor, which is right beside Skye, One Holland Village. So what I have extracted is the launch prices back then, that means in 2019. So over here, if you notice, I sorted 2019 to 2023. The average price of the development is 2007 up to 3004 PSF. So today, are we potentially traveling back into time? Definitely yes. If we were to enter, of course, at 2007, 2008, this is definitely extremely safe PSF. So in fact, One Holland Village also loaded the higher PSF on the bigger bedroom types as seen over here. Okay, and of course, if you notice, the break-even price for One Holland Village was significantly higher. Okay, the next part I'll go very quickly because in the interest of time. If you guys have any questions, of course, do reach out to me. I'll be more than happy to go through the full presentation with you. But for the purposes of this video, I just wanted to be very short, sweet, and concise. So I'll only be touching on the main important points. So the 2-bed 1-bath at Skye Holland versus One Holland Village. Okay, this unit, how do I hide this? This unit transacted in 2019, 20th floor, which is half of Skye Holland, at 1.9. Same 2-bed 1-bath, slightly smaller, yes, but you notice balcony, less wasted space. My living dining is much bigger as compared. I don't count the aircon latch as well. I start from 1.5. Even at 2009 PSF, I am only doing 1.68. This is a price gap of close to 300,000. Very safe price gap. I move on to the 2-bed 2-bath. Similarly, balcony, not so big. I don't count aircon latch. Okay, I don't have wasted walkway space because at Skye Holland, I'm using a dumbbell layout. 797, if I minus the aircon latch, about 50 square feet, that brings me to about 700 plus square feet around this. Usually this is around the size. Okay, but you notice the kitchen. Skye Holland is a tuck away, but One Holland Village is a galley kitchen. Okay, for this unit in 2023, it transacted at 2.5. But for our units, we are starting from 1.7. Even at 2.9 PSF, we are only doing 1.96. There's a price gap of about 500,000. The price gap is ridiculous over here. Okay, jump to 3 bedrooms. Over here, for a 3 bedroom compact 915 square feet with enclosed kitchen, windows in my bathrooms, I start from about 2.4. At a 2.9 PSF, okay, this price 2.6 mil, you can only get a 2-bedder ground floor unit at One Holland Village with extremely big patio. So unless of course you like ground floor units, but instead of spending 2.7, you spend slightly less, you get an additional bedroom. And over here, if you take a look at the living for these 2 bedrooms, they can only fit a 2-seater, 4-seater dining table, whereas I can fit a 3-seater sofa and a 6-seater dining table for a lower quantum price. 3-bed premium, the sizes very similar, but this is with aircon, AC, this is without AC. Okay, a lot more efficient. The utility, I think I have a video tour of this. I have one unit over here. The utility is small. We can't even put a helper's bed over here because it's actually too narrow. Kitchen slightly smaller, but we have a very large balcony. Over at Skye Holland, the balcony, I wouldn't say it's very big, it's just decent, enough for you to fit a 6-seater table or to put your working desk outside. We have a bomb shelter which you can double up as a helper's storage area, and a much larger wet kitchen plus dry kitchen, which we don't have in One Holland Village. This unit, 32nd floor, transacted at 3.4 mil 3 years ago. Now, we are starting from 2.6. Even at 2009 PSF, this price gap is 300,000. So far, if you think that these have been extremely beneficial, do help us to like, share and subscribe so that we can actually reach out to as many buyers as possible who are also similarly looking at Skye Holland for investment or for own stay. Okay, so I'll skip the 4 bedrooms, but of course if you're keen, do reach out to us. I'll do a more in-depth analysis, and I go to my next part on the rentability as well as a rental yield. Okay, so of course, One Holland Village being the nearest competitor, okay, what we are looking at, the average rental is about $7.6 per square foot, $7.60 per square foot, and up to $10. Okay, even if I were to use the same PSF, which will unlikely be the case because by the time we TOP in 2029 to 2030, there will be inflation, that's number one, and we will also be the newest. And generally, people, they prefer newer developments. Tenants also prefer newer developments. So even at a conservative rate, okay, so what I've done here is, even at $7.50 per square foot, at $2,950 per square foot purchase price. Just now I talked about 2.9 being my walkaway price. Anything below is bonus, but I'm using slightly higher here. Okay, at $7 per square foot, you are already looking at a rental yield of 3%. In comparison with, of course, your T-bills as well as your fixed deposit, definitely if you were to play stocks, the returns are slightly higher, but of course the risk is a lot higher as well. Okay, but if you were to ask me, we should be looking at around $9 per square foot conservatively, given inflation and again being the newest kid on the block. So this works out to around 3.66% yield, which is extremely good in today's market. Okay, if you're keen to find out whether this covers your monthly mortgage, or maybe in fact, I'll just do it very quickly. Okay, so if we look at the 3 bedrooms, okay, over here, okay, this is what we use to calculate the progressive payment. Okay, because for new launches, your progressive payment is actually spread out across the entire construction period. So if I were to use, maybe I say a 3-bedroom, 1076 at 2950 per square foot, 3.228. So 3.228. Okay, currently the floating rate is less than 2%, but for calculation purposes, I'll put 2. Okay, what you're seeing here is upon TOP. Okay, if I were to screenshot, upon TOP, which means you collect the keys and you can start renting out, your monthly installment is at 7,001. 1 year after all the defects have been rectified, your monthly installment will be about 9,000. Okay, let's see if at 9,000, okay, even at, okay, sorry, too many drawings, $9 per square foot over here, your rental yield can cover your monthly installment very comfortably. Okay, and this is extremely rare. If you see a lot of the properties, recently I was doing Clavon resale, the monthly rental does not cover your monthly mortgage at all. It only covers your principal. So every month, technically, you're losing to interest and you need to top up for maintenance of the property, maintenance of the development, and of course, property tax and income tax as well. Okay, so this is on rental yield. Let me just move on. Okay, project details. I'll go through very quickly because these are the very, very boring details. I'll only highlight the more salient or the more important details that I feel might stand out. Okay, so this is a consortium, which I mentioned previously, out of 4 developers, and these 4 developers are all big players. Okay, they are all band 1s and 2. If you notice on this side, this means that they have very minimal defects upon TOP. But you notice CapitaLand is band 3. Okay, but I will say this is not very fair because the project that's under assessment for CapitaLand, it was a service apartment if I'm not wrong. So you can check this all out on BCA's website. So it's called Live at One North. So this was the only project under assessment, and I think maybe the build quality wasn't so well done. So that's why they are band 3. Okay, a couple of projects are still under assessment, such as One Per Bank, which just TOP, Canning Hill Piers, which has not TOP yet. So this one is not really accurate. But of course, with 4 very prominent developers coming in, you can be assured of their build quality. Okay, other project details, total of 668 units. Estimated notice of vacant possession is October 2029. Okay, I would like to highlight here, even though we are within close proximity to the MRT, we have 100% car park provision. It seems like now it's a selling point, right? But yes, because a lot of the developments, they do only 80% car park provision. Some projects do even less than 50% car park provision, even though they are not close to the MRT. Okay, but of course, we don't have a tennis court, unlike One Holland Village, but this translates to a very affordable monthly maintenance. So your 2s and 3s, they are doing about 390 per month estimated. This is the same price as an executive condo in the West. Okay, and the layout types, this I will usually cover during the show flat presentation as well. So if you are keen to take a look at the show flat, please reach out to us. We have a total of 3 show flats on display, which is the 2 plus study 732 square feet, the 3-bedroom premium 1076 square feet, as well as the 5-bedroom premium. Okay, we also have the floor plan comparison, what's the differences between the 2-bed 1 bath, 2-bed 2 bath, and even within the 2-bed 2 bath. 2-bed 2 bath with the 2-bed 2 bath plus study, 3-bedroom premium comparison, 4-bedroom comparison, 5-bedroom comparison as well. So I won't go all this in detail, but I will do highlight that most of the bedrooms, they are 9 square meters or larger, which is again, 9 square meters is norm. Some they give 8, 8.5, but this is 9.6, 9.7, depending on which unit type you go for. Okay, and site plan, this is important because depending on your budget or depending on what you're going for, okay, it will actually be important which tax that you choose. So the units that are facing the unblocked GCB, they are actually located on this side. Okay, so you notice the view that you're getting. Okay, it's perpetual unblocked because these are all your good class bungalows that won't be torn away. Okay, the units on the southern side, okay, they will be facing towards, okay, let me shift this so that you can see. They will be facing towards the CBD area. Okay, of course, depending on which floor as well. Okay, this one again, the first floor clears the multi-story car park of the upcoming BTO, but after that, you'll look at the BTO as well. So maybe pockets towards the CD area. Okay, if you're keen, reach out to me. Maybe I'll just show you the drone view very quickly. Okay, I'll start from level 20. Okay, yes, so this is the GCB view. Okay, and the good thing is, unlike Holland Village, the units that are facing GCB, they are much closer to the very busy Holland Road. Ours, we are just facing this slightly smaller road, but of course, you might still have a bit of a road noise, just not as significant. But wow, every day you see this view. You're looking down the GCB people as well as you're looking towards the Bukit Timah area. And then on this side, so this is the one that I was referring to, you'll be looking towards the upcoming BTO cluster. So the pocket view, if you're high enough, you'll look towards CBD. Okay, Holland Village Shopping Centre, 7 stories. Okay, so this is the drone view. If you are keen, reach out to me. I'll send you the drone view as well. So yes, for those who love the GCB view, okay, that would be a bit of a problem. You'll be facing towards west. So based on what the architect has given us, is 46° north-south. Okay, so units over here, you get slanted west sun. So at least it's not directly into your unit. So at least it's slanted, not too bad, and you're further away from Holland Road. Definitely with Unblocked View, it comes at a price. For example, units along Clementi, they come with Unblocked View, afternoon sun plus AYE facing. Properties along Marine Parade area, you get the sea view, again ECP and afternoon sun as well. Moving on to the last point, if we were to miss this, what are the rest of the upcoming launches that I can go for? Of course, I will also be doing another video comparison, a macro comparison of the 4 major launches that are going to happen: Skye, Penrith, Zyon Grand, as well as Faber. Okay, I'll leave the link somewhere around here so that you guys can actually have a very quick overview on what are the differences and which projects to go for, since they are all launching at different periods. But moving to 2026, you notice the land bid prices are crazy. Okay, for example, 3 of the outskirt launches, Bayshore, estimated launch price 3,000 over PSF because of their land bid price. Our land bid is 1,285. This Bayshore unit land bid is 1,388. Trunk Grove, 2 plots of land by one developer, also above 1,003 PSF. They are trying to merge the 2 sites together. Estimated launch price is also 2,009 PSF, and these are OCR launches, outskirts OCR launches. Okay. But if you're looking into the core central region, the next plot of land again is going to go 1,420 per square foot. This is parcel B in River Valley. What else do we have? Holland Link. Okay, even though the name is Holland, is City Fringe, RCR. Not close to the MRT, doing 3,000 PSF on average, based on land bid price. Okay, so of course, this presents a very rare opportunity. If we were to look at the GLS 2024 and 2025, I tried to match them. 2024 versus 2025 GLS. There were a couple of land bids that crossed 1,003, and these are your core central land bids. For example, River Green as well as Promenade Peak, RCR, sorry. Okay, but if you take a look, 2025, you have your outskirts crossing 1,003 per square foot per block ratio, which is crazy. And why is this so? Okay, so every agent will tell you, land bid become more expensive, but what is the reason behind? In 2029, there is a massive drop in supply, which is why developers are very aggressive in trying to replenish their land bank. So you must always understand as to why developers are always so aggressive in their land bid. It's not just, every land plot will be more expensive. It's because of the depleting land supply in 2029, and this is the reason why developers are trying to replenish their land bank. Okay, and I touched on interest rates as well. I updated these articles. Recently, the Fed actually approved interest rate cuts, and they are potentially seeing 2 more rate cuts in the next 3 months. So what does this translate into? Okay, the interest rates have a very strong correlation with property prices. I've always touched on this. When the interest rates are at an all-time low, the prices actually grew significantly, about 86%. But when the interest rates hike, you'll notice the prices still grow, but at a more sustainable rate. When the interest rates come down again during COVID, it shot up by around 54%. So interest rates, they generally have a very strong correlation because a large portion of our property purchase price is through financing, 75% through loan, and this makes a 1% drop in interest rate or 1% increase in interest rates very volatile in your monthly installment. Okay, and I go through very quickly, but usually I'll be more in depth on a face-to-face presentation. Okay, so to sum up, why I think Skye Holland is going to be another sell-out project, other than the fact that the pricing is extremely attractive, is the fact that this will be the last government land sale in Holland. You will no longer get any more government land sale that's right beside the newly opened Holland Village Mall, walking distance to the MRT. You have a good mix. If you feel atas, you can eat restaurant Din Tai Fung. The Din Tai Fung price is the same price as the Marina Bay one. It's not even like your Gem or your Jurong outlet kind of Din Tai Fung. Then you have Xiang Xiang, my favorite. Okay, you have I think a few are more restaurants which I don't eat, so I'm not too familiar. You Mark and Spencer, you have your cold storage at your doorstep. If you want cheaper options, you have the food center, you have the hawker. The Western is damn good and affordable. So you have all your convenience right at your doorstep, from food to amenities to connectivity, and the pricing puts you further up one edge as compared to One Holland Village. Okay, so yes, we are like for us, we are aggressively pushing on the triple price protection. That is past price in 2019 to 2023. One Holland Village prices, you are buying way cheaper because of harmonization. Based on present as well, what has been transacted in the city fringe as well as in the core central region, and of course in the future land bid prices, this puts you in a very favorable position. So if you're keen to find out more or to schedule a show flat visit, do reach out to us. And if you have enjoyed this episode of our project review, do help us to like, share and subscribe. I will also be leaving a link to my Telegram group channel where I always share all those fire sale. So very seldom we get fire sale in this environment, but if you're on the lookout for fire sale, recently we had a couple, do join my SG Property Lobang. I will also be sharing first-hand price information as soon as the developers release, not just for Skye but for all upcoming launches as well. Once again, this is Dexter, your preferred Gen Z realtor. If you have any questions, do reach out to me and I'll catch you guys soon.